here with Bianca Lampley, and we are going to have a conversation about collective bargaining, specifically as it pertains to Petersburg Education Association and the fight to get teachers to the table to collectively bargain for their union contracts. So, hello, Ms. Lampley.
Hello, how are you today, Ms. Kirkland?
Doing well. I invited you to this interview because a lot of people believe that unions are for the uh worst of workers. They believe that unions are to help workers who get in trouble and are wayward, and you are absolutely not that person. You are a two-time Teacher of the Year winner, and you believe in the fight for collective bargaining. Is that correct?
That is correct. I do believe in collective bargaining. One of the big things that I want people to understand about collective bargaining is that it's about more than just pay and protection, which is, I think, speaks to what you were speaking to about the lowest, or quote unquote, worst employees like unions because they get that support. The reason I am pushing for collective bargaining is to help with teacher retention. I feel like part of the issues, especially in the last couple of years, that we as teachers have struggled with are behaviors. And you can actually kind of address behaviors and behaviors and discipline through collective bargaining. Teachers can collectively bargain for a consistent discipline plan, which would help with addressing serious behaviors, repeat behaviors. It would make teachers feel like there's a system in place that they can follow, that everyone knows the steps of, and everyone can be held accountable when they are at whichever step they are at in the plan.
Okay. Thank you for your insight. And what I wanted to ask you are just three layers of questions. How will collective bargaining help the teachers? How will it help the students? And how will it help communities and parents? So can you give us any insight? Let's start with your profession first. You already mentioned about discipline and teacher retention. Do you have anything else to say about how collective bargaining can help teachers and the profession as a whole?
Absolutely. Collective bargaining can help teachers by giving them a voice at the table. I don't feel like anyone knows more what a classroom needs than a teacher that's in the classroom. So collective bargaining will get the people that are on the front lines, hate to call it the front lines, but on the front lines of education, a voice in education and what we are looking at as far as compensation, what we can do as far as discipline, and what kinds of resources we need in the classroom.
Okay, excellent. Now, you've mentioned discipline 2 times, but let's bring in how do collective bargaining, how would it help students and the people we serve?
As far as students and communities, definitely when you have teachers that have a high morale, they're going to stay. So you have teachers that are giving students their best. You've got qualified teachers that are willing to put in the work and do what they need to do to make students successful. Back to the discipline piece, because that is my push that I am really, really pushing for. If there is a consistent discipline plan across the district for every single building, it's the same for every building. Parents understand what the consequences is for whatever their kids' behaviors, actions are, and they know that they won't change whether they're in elementary school or middle school or high school. They will always be aware of the steps in the discipline plan and what needs to happen. Not only does it help hold parents accountable for knowing the discipline plan, once students understand the discipline plan, they can be held accountable when they aren't behaving the way that they should be to be successful in school. So collective bargaining, in my opinion, makes everyone accountable, not just the teachers and the admin in the building, but teachers, admin, central office people, parents and students. Everyone can be held accountable when we have collectively bargained for a system that's the same across the board.
Excellently spoken. And last question, not even a question, just any last statements. What do you want to tell the community of Petersburg, the city, and anybody else listening about collective bargaining and teachers' rights?
Teachers' rights in Petersburg have been a long time coming. We are finally ready to take our seat at the table, and it's about more than just pay and compensation. I don't want anyone to think that the only reason the teachers are trying to come to the table right now is just because of pay and compensation. It is collective bargaining is about more than that. And I just hope that the community and our stakeholders recognize that it's not just about pay and compensation, but it can help us in a number of different ways.
Lovely spoken from a true two-time Teacher of the Year winner. So don't think that, collective bargaining, like we have more than riffraff asking for collective bargaining. So thank you for having this meeting with me. And I bid you all, and you, Miss Lampley, a lovely day.